Monday edition of the Sports Cage. Here we go. Thank you very much for making time and tuning in. Whether it is on 620 CKRM, maybe you're out there getting the crop off. A few more days, some nice weather here to do that. Or if you're just cruising around, listening, wherever you listen. All the streams as well. And then, of course, on YouTube through sportscage.com. Thank you for being here on this Monday. Hope you had a fun and safe weekend. I know the Rider game, we're going to get to that here right away. Not what we wanted if you're a Rider fan or expected. We'll break that down. Some of our guests today include Luc Mullinder, the coach's show, going to have Maquay McDaniel with us, and then Darian Durant in hour 3, so we got football covered. It was the wrap-up weekend for the Regina Youth Flag football as well. They had a successful fall season. The Rams won. The Thunder, big win in Saskatoon. What else happened? The Ryder Cup. That was interesting. That was wow. Just, you don't even need to be a golf fan. Maz and I will talk about that later. It was just the competitive juices and the cheekiness and the chirps, if you want. It was interesting. NFL, we got a tie game. Now it seems like a lot of talk shows down south are talking, we cannot have games end in a tie. We need to change that rule. Don't be changing rules. Rugby Canada, the women finished second against England. That's all right, though. So, yeah, we got a lot to get to here. All the local hockey rundown as well. SJHL, Western Hockey League, AAA. If you got anything that you want to say, the Prairie Land Rentals text line is going to be open. Let us know. 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. They can rent almost anything you need, and they are a Husqvarna supplier if you're looking to purchase something coming up here for the fall or winter season. All of our guests will join us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. 2 football games tonight, NFL style. Maybe you just want to get a wheel, sit back, eat some great Western pizza, and watch some football. No weird bell ringing on this show. We got 3 hours of athletics. My co-host Maz is with today. Curtis is in the pocket. He is taking calls, reading texts, doing what he does. Maz, the Edmonton Elks inspired football with their owners passing late last week, or the Riders' slow start just bit him in the behind again? The Slachka, as they say.
I think there was the emotion of the owner passing away, Larry Thompson, and that added to it. But I had called it early last week. This was a trap game. If there's one thing the Edmonton Eskimos have learned how to do so far throughout this season, is just hang around and do just enough. Cody in the offense, and they did. And on Saturday, and a little bit of that, but then a lot of Rider mistakes, 3 turnovers in the first quarter. That doesn't help. The secondary getting burned for 30-yard plays. We missed some field goals. Some people are saying those points cost us the game. There didn't seem to be a lot of flow. It seemed a little disjointed at times. And I think that what some people are mistaking, that final drive, the final minute, doesn't represent the other 59. It's the other 59 that was concerning. Because you texted me right before halftime, be like, ugh, this is not moving well. And I'm like, no, it's not. And we end up losing 27-25. And on that final play, the 2-point convert, between a Joe and Trevor Harris, one of them did the right thing, one of them didn't do the right thing. I'm putting my money on that Trevor Harris put that ball in the right spot. And a Joe, and as much as people love him and he's great on social media and all of that, the kind of the knock on him, he's young, doesn't necessarily maybe know the playbook the best of times, not the best route runner. That was a fitting way to end that football game because it just sort of summarized everything of, well, we're kind of close. But when it counted, we just couldn't make it happen.
2 texts out of the gate. Keep them coming. Prairie Land Rentals text line and on the YouTube chat as well. No name to this one, so usually I don't read it, but I will. Did Mark Mueller have a brain freeze or something? That was the absolute worst offensive play calling he is responsible for since he joined the Roughriders. Why would the last play not be a handoff to the short yardage specialist Stevens? Handoff to Stevens. I don't think we had. He's probably just thinking, why wouldn't Stevens just take it? It was worse watching that loss than the loss to Montreal, where they got a thorough licking. Brutal. We're going to end up in third place because of stupidity. Lots of frustration still today on this Monday like that. And there's a few more with that tone. Another one, Craig says, it seems that the Riders are lacking heart, especially after watching Alexander with Montreal. Last weekend, BC and Montreal played with passion. The one thing, and I think you're right, Maz, and you don't have to agree with us. You can send in your messages, let us know what you think. But that final drive does not define the game. No, and that's the thing that we can't really just look at that. There were times in that game. First off, I thought we were expecting a big crowd. Is that now a big crowd in Edmonton? Like the upper deck was just all seats. You might as well be renting that out.
I don't even know this year, even for Labor Day with the Stamps, if they've ever opened the upper level. It's pretty much lower bowl or nothing.
Yeah, they might as well have like another event going on up there and just rent that out. So I was like, I thought there was supposed to be a big crowd. Harris seems off. Is that fair to say? And I think there is a text message here from Tim in Watrous saying Trevor Harris hasn't been the same for a while. I know you were kind of echoing that. Was it last week or maybe 2 weeks ago when he came off the bye, where you thought he hasn't kind of been the same since, was it the Calgary game?
Yeah, I don't think he's been the same since the Calgary game because they got after him. And then I felt for him in that Eskimo game where he takes off to run and does this awkward kind of slide stop and he just gets folded up. And I thought, shades of the Eskimo game last year, the Elks game last year, we end up getting hurt. Is this the one right here? Yeah, watch this. This is ugly because his head gets jolted in his neck. But luckily he popped up. I'm like, oh no, that's not good. It is not good.
I think I would think most people had the same feeling there where it was like, ooh, that's like the kid that goes off the BMX ramp and he shouldn't be, and he falls all awkwardly, and you're like, oh, that's not going to be good. Slow starts. Like, that is something that can't... Maybe Maquay McDaniel, when we have him on in hour 2, the coach's show, what's with the slow starts? I think the Trevor Harris thing, is he going through something, or are teams just figuring it out? Are they watching a ton of tape now, and it's like, okay, when they show this is probably what's going to happen. The coaches, it's professional football, right? Are the coaches are the opposition of coaches making adjustments now where, so to speak, they've kind of figured Trevor out and now we got to, maybe make some things happen? But he just doesn't look himself, and he's shorting balls. He's throwing balls into coverages that he wouldn't have earlier, which, to my point, I don't know if that's maybe a coaching thing, but he just doesn't look like, sometimes he doesn't have the zip.
I would also like to know how much of Corey Mace's defense, which has come from a lot of other places, is JC Sherritt running, who was with the Riders last year, and he would have practiced every day against Trevor Harris. Like, how much? And now that, like you had said, they're getting better. They understand that defense. They're understanding the offense as well. There's a lot of tape out there. What Trevor was able to do with ease in the first 5-6 weeks of the season, short passes, long ball, everything was going well. Everything was working. Now those seem like a bit of a struggle. Much like it is when people are trying to pronounce Samuel Emilus' name, especially the broadcaster that does the games, it's not Emulus. Could we get the last name right, please, CFL panel? That was frustrating. I'm like, you guys, come on. I don't know what it is, but there is something that's a little off. And
you're a big stickler for that.
Well, no, they kept going on.
And names wrong and words wrong. And if anyone ever wants to send an email to Maz and then have him correct you, He's supposedly an English teacher at some point. I don't.
No, I'm not. I'm Grammarly. It's free.
You're that guy. We all have that friend. It's like, oh, you're missing punctuation. You're missing this. It's like, get a life. Okay, I got Rocky's calling me out. Hey, Rocky, and I agree. So he says 30,000 isn't a big crowd now. LOL. What are you talking about? There was 30,000 people there? Or is it like when the Riders say 24,000 when 30,000 seats were given away or sold?
If there was 30,000, it didn't look like it on TV. Now, maybe they're all on the camera side, but it didn't look like it. I'm sure it was decent because the Riders were playing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of people on my social media feeds that were there. They were expecting dominance. I was like, oh, guys, I don't know. Edmonton? Like I said, they're learning how to play. They're a cockroach. You can't kill them. They're learning how to stick around. And Cody, he's not afraid to put up those prayer balls. And like some of these, like come on, especially that one. What was that one down the sideline? Was that in the fourth quarter? That was a bit of a backbreaker. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Hilaire.
Like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, oh, you guys.
Okay, let's, if you missed it, this is Coach Mace after the game. First one, he talks about the 2-point play that looked awkward, and again, the team's slow start.
Coach, last play of the game obviously didn't work out. Was there miscommunication there on the last throw?
Yeah, I know they ran into each other. It's obviously wasn't executed good enough. But I got to look at see what the defense was doing, if they were pressed up, if it muddied the read a little bit. But ultimately we didn't execute it, man. So tough. Especially they fought all the way to the end there. Man, you would have loved that to go to OT. And I thought we had a little bit of momentum.
Coach, what are some of the things you felt went right for you today?
I think just that, man. These guys freaking battled. Like, we keep putting ourselves in a damn hole early in the game, and and then we always end up swinging all the way through. But I just don't know that we're good enough to give up a 10-point lead every game. So we got to continue to find ways to remedy that.
Okay, here's I think it's our first text on this one, and it's from Daryl. We left 6 points on the board by our field goal kicker. When are we going to try the new guy? He hopefully doesn't blow the season for us. I was waiting for that. Those were key points.
They benched the punter this game and brought in the new guy who they signed a week ago. I don't know. Hey, until it ends up costing you a game. No big deal. You can keep going. But some people, are you equating those points with us losing the game on Saturday? Like, I think the score flattered us. That last drive, and they were in super prevent defense. So if they were playing what they were playing throughout most of the game, where they were trying to bring a lot of pressure, that's why I hate prevent defense. But I think the score flattered us. The 2-point win, I don't think it was as close as that.
You could be right. Kyle says Riders didn't help themselves, but I counted 3 times where the refs blew the play dead when they shouldn't have, especially the play that led to a touchdown after the interception. That one I get. I don't know the other times Kyle's talking about. But you're right, Kyle, with the first part of your sentence, Riders didn't help themselves. And Tamaz, to your point, maybe the score was a little flattering there as well, to what happened.
On that play where what was it, Onyeka ended up picking up the ball and running to the end zone. I thought Rider Nation, because this has happened before, that they were going to blow this play dead for forward progress, and the play is over. Normally, when the play is blown dead like that, you don't see the other team get the ball. So fortunate that we got the ball. I don't think we're crazy, because if you saw it, like the whistle blows right there before the ball is ever out. So I thought, well, they're just going to blow it dead on forward progress, and the Elks are going to keep the ball. Great play, but then so we get the ball, which I'm like, okay, command center, this is a little weird. I don't know. I just, after watching NFL yesterday and the CFL games, enough with the flags. Stop letting the refs decide this. There's Rocky, 30
It's,
There was a lot. There was just a lot of, it was a combination of things for the Riders. It wasn't just one thing. It's been kind of this slow burn over these past few games. Once again, I thought this was going to be our trap game. I didn't think we were going to lose to Montreal. I thought Edmonton at home was going to be incredibly tough. Coming off 2 close wins and then the emotion of their owner passing away, I knew we were in one.
so late in that game, and Fajardo's back, he's under the center, or out of shotgun, whatever he was. You can tell. Anybody could tell. All out blitz coming. Hey, here it comes. They're sending everybody. No safety. And then that's the bomb where he hits Hilaire down the sideline. Good play. Good call on their part. Hey, but it seems like, again, there was mix-up, which happens in every kind of football. It seems that the Riders are getting exposed when it happens. Yeah, good job, Curtis, on the video here. That's it right there. And it was like, oh, like it's a great read by Cody. So Coach Mace, he talks about how the Elks played that late blitz that found Hilaire deep.
Yeah, at the end there, that big play, we ended up sending a zero pressure there. You definitely don't want them to be able to run the ball and continue to milk it. We're out of timeouts, but, they bombered in and we were a little bit late on the ad there. And they took advantage and they ended up finding an open guy. But the clock's in play there, so we want to try to give the offense enough time to be able to go back and score. But, ultimately, we ended up getting things done. To be able to push it, to try to push it to overtime. But, you make mistakes. They're going to suck, but, there's tons of mistakes in every game. We just got to make sure that we're playing complimentary, man, so they all don't feel like it's the worst damn thing happening at the time.
Okay, we got, we're going to have more. We got also the AJ clip where he talks about how maybe his idea for them getting off to a better start. So much more. Luc Mullinder is standing by. So let's go to a quick break. I see the text messages coming in. We're going to get to them. Coming up, it is a Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com through our YouTube channel. We are on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. We have text messages from Brendan, James, and Ryan. Very educated, very good, like 40 words or less, making their point that we'll get to in a bit. But I know we can't keep this guy waiting. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Western Pizza, where sometimes you win a bet and somebody has to buy you Western Pizza. Maybe that's tonight for you. Luc Mullinder is joining us. I know. Little bit of smoke. Not as much smoke as what Jerry Jones throws out about the game last night, where we even had the most expensive player in the NFL in the game.
They couldn't stop the U of R yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys. U of R would have dropped 56 on us yesterday.
Marshall Erickson would have ran up and down that team.
Man, it ain't even funny. We're terrible.
That was the Cowboys Super Bowl yesterday. That was for them. That was their Super Bowl. That's a Super Bowl win. A 40-40 tie against Green Bay. Wrap it up. We're done for 2025.
That was not the Cowboys Super Bowl. There's bigger games coming up. We got the Eagles. We got the Giants. Man, we got the number 1 offense in the league and the number 31st defense. Like, it's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can get into more Cowboys later. They're one of those teams. If I was a Cowboys fan, you can't figure this team out. It's like, what is going on? But anyway, Luke, we got a lot of people messaging in here, and if you have questions for Luke, let them fly right now. It's been a few days. I don't know if you've watched any of the game, but you were there, you saw it, all that. When you go back to this game, and to Maz's point earlier, it's like the recency bias of that last drive and how close it was. Was the game that close, or did you feel that kind of Edmonton, for the most part, was controlling it most of the game?
The 2 games that Edmonton played before Saturday's game against the Riders, they lost both those games in the fourth quarter, right? And we had talked about all through sort of the week and also during the pregame that, hey, this was a team that was really going to emphasize the fourth quarter that they played that day, and that's where I felt like the Riders lost the game. Late in the third and into the fourth quarter. Number one, Justin Rankin finally started paying dividends for the Edmonton Elks offense. Right, he busted the big run. They started doing a little bit better there. Unfortunately, we weren't able to manufacture consistent pressure on Cody. And then you had, the long bomb plays like the long bomb, for instance, that led to their last touchdown, just coverage breakdowns, right? So there's a lot of things, obviously, that the Riders are going to want to improve on from there. You've got 6 potentially missed points from the field goal position or from the kicker position. But again, it's not necessarily about the Edmonton Elk. It's what do you do? What do you see on film? And how can you learn and adjust from it? Because there was a lot of things, obviously, that they're going to want to build on.
A lot of the comments that I read, some people think that Trevor Harris is off and that they feel that he's been off since the Calgary game. I don't know if something happened in that game, physical, psychological, but what was easy in the first third of the season seems to be a bit of a struggle. Would you agree with that as well?
In the first quarter, Trevor Harris obviously there was 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and both of the interceptions looked like he was really staring down his target, right? I think that whenever you have a talent like a guy like a Joe, for instance, you don't necessarily want to force, like, things have to develop organically, right? And I think that him and Joe maybe have some work to get on to get on the same page. They look like, they weren't on the same page whenever they were trying to connect. But again, yeah, I think that it's late in the season. Everybody's banged up, right? And these are just sort of the ebbs and flows that you got to deal with in the CFL, right? Like, guys aren't going to be at their best every single game. It's more about how you react to the things. And again, it's just one of those things. I think that you got to give every other team credit here. And again, this, the last third of the year, when I talk about teams needing to play their best football, that's not just the Riders needing to play their best football, and it's not just the Riders that understand that, right? Every single team in this league, especially, for instance, the Edmonton Elk, right? Coached by Mark Killam. They've got former players as coordinators, right? Like, all of these guys know that the last 6 weeks of the season is where you need to put it all together, right? So you got to give credit where credit is due to Edmonton. I thought that for the most part in the first half, the Riders played really well, and it was going to be on that third quarter because historically Edmonton had not done well in the third quarter. And, for some of the things that I felt the Edmonton Elks needed to build on to compete with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, I felt they did. Right? You can't knock another team. Those guys get paid too, right? So they made the plays. And again, Justin Rankin, we held him in check pretty much all game. And you saw his ability to break open a game within 2 plays, right?
I to the point that when Maz and I were talking before, it's like you mentioned they get paid too. And then the other thing is the coaches, right? Like, we got to give credit where credit is due to the coaching staff. JC Sherritt is there on the other side. So what Trevor Harris is maybe accustomed to being open, a lot of teams are game planning against that now. It's like, he likes to go here. He likes to see this. The one thing, Luke, that I can't put my finger on, maybe you can, what's with the slow starts offensively?
Yeah. So again, I think that that's probably an area. I know that when I talked to AJ after the game, for instance, and when I talked to Coach, they both mention it, right? Slow starts are due to any number of reasons. I think that for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, it doesn't mean you come out against Ottawa and you go yard on the first play, right? You just got to go out and execute. And I think that, when you start slow, what are the things that you've been focusing on, right? And I think that it goes a little bit into kind of the conversation that the whole crew had around, peaking, and the conversation that AJ and Trevor had with Dave around, figuring out what type of team that you want to be. And I simply remarked that, hey, now's not the time to figure that out. Now's the time to play solid football, right? Now's the time to get on track, just like every other team, to elevate your game. It's, you don't want to. So again, I'm not sure what's causing the slow starts. I just think that you've got Ottawa coming up, and you've got to finish strong in the Western Division. I hope that it wouldn't be complacency, just because you're a little bit farther ahead of the other Western teams in the Canadian Football League. But it's definitely something that they need to figure out, because you got to start fast and you got to finish strong. Those are sort of the two components to working towards a win.
You mentioned AJ Ouellette. To me, he had his guy. He's earning his money, goes over 1,000 yards. So he was a bright spot Saturday. And then the Rider D-line, what did they have, 4 or 5 sacks? Could you imagine, Luke, if they didn't get that pressure on Cody and get those sacks, what the Elks could have done if Cody had that extra second or two to complete some passes or get it out to Rank?
I think that's that unfortunately for us, though, that really contrasts the difference between the two teams. For instance, AJ Ouellette, he was having a ton of success, but they were throwing body after body after body at AJ Ouellette, right? And it's the reason why we didn't have success bringing Justin Rankin down in the fourth quarter, is there were too many just sort of singular one-arm tackle attempts, right? And to Edmonton's credit, you mentioned it exactly right. They figured out how to start protecting Cody a lot better, right? Like, they figured out how to give him an extra second in the pocket, and it paid dividends. That's when they started hitting the Riders with the longer passing plays, right? And then you saw some miscommunication in the secondary. I'm not sure, you go back to the Hilaire play, I'm not sure where the safety was supposed to be. It seemed like he had come over late, depending on what defensive call there is. You don't want to blame, obviously, new guys being in the secondary, because you get a week to practice. You also are surrounded by veterans. This team's just got to find the areas where they're not, whether it's communication, whether it's just effort to the ball. They got to figure something out, because again, every other team is going to start really climbing here, and the Riders need to climb as well.
Do you think, Luke, that going to Ottawa, kind of a short week on Friday, do you think they maybe try the other kicker?
Do I think that maybe they try the other kicker? I mean,
it's October.
I would think that if you were willing to try another punter, you'd be willing to try another kicker,
yes.
Right? If I was to put Joe Couch and Brett Lowther on film, right? Like, I wouldn't say that it was Joe Couch, right, that was the one who needed replacing, if that makes sense, right? Like, I get why. I thought the new punter was great, right? And maybe that's just a guy they really, really liked, and that happens. But I think that if you are willing to try out, a new punter in Edmonton, why not, right? Why not give some reps to somebody else? I think it's just all in the way you look at it. Are you trying to just help, or trying to figure out a way to get Brett Lowther comfy and consistent? I'm not sure what it is, but I would assume that the rest of Rider Nation is probably ready for a new place kicker, and they'd probably be extremely interested if there was somebody new who got an opportunity in Ottawa.
Campbell Fair, he's still on the practice roster. That's where I'm wondering. Yeah, but it's
no, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I just think that it's worth mentioning, because they were willing to change the punter, right? So, yeah. All right, does that mean you're also willing to change the place kicker, the field goal kicker?
Somebody on the text line said, "Well, it was unfair that they put Lowther out, plus 50, but in the playoffs, when you need to score points to win, when it matters, that may be as close as you get. That's going to be your best opportunities. And you've got it. Are you always going to get it? No, but that's the situation you're in." I looked at, and Luke, I know you guys were getting ready for the game on Saturday, but the precision of the beatdown that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers put on the Hamilton Ticats, like with a scalpel, they carved them up. And I was like, that's not the Winnipeg team that any Rider fan wants to see. Where Zach's dropping back, bombs, 40-3, the final score, field goal kickers making it from everywhere. That BC game, BC looked good, Montreal looked good, Winnipeg looked good this weekend. That's the part as being a Rider fan that worries me. Like you said, everybody needs to be playing great football in this last third, and other teams are. And
every team has their vulnerabilities, right? I think that you're right. I think that Winnipeg is a completely different team with Zach Collaros, and I love watching Zach Collaros play. I think he's great for the CFL. It's better if he's on the field. But I've also been in those locker rooms and been in those situations. For instance, 2006, 2005, I think 2007 as well, with Dave Dickinson in BC. There wasn't any malicious intent in our defensive conversation, but we did understand that if, with the problems that Dave Dickinson was having, with concussions, we did understand that that one good hit might give us another quarterback to compete against, and we knew that quarterback wasn't as good as Dave Dickinson. So like when you throw Mo Lloyd, there was Mo Apples, so you had Mike and Will coming, and Mo would go up the A gap, right? And if Mo got a connecting point to Dave, we understood that that might be the end of their QB1 situation, and we'll have QB2 in here, who we can manage a lot more. I think that for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, I don't think that people, I think that to say that it's not fair to Brett Lowther to be put in certain situations is really, really unfair to Jeremy O'Day and to Coach Mace. Jeremy O'Day and Coach Mace have been more than patient with Brett Lowther, perhaps more patient with inconsistency in that field, in that position on the roster than any position on the roster. And so there's no unfair point for Brett Lowther. At this point, he needs to make those field goals. Do you want to be kicking long 50-yarders? No, but you're right, Maz. I mean, if you need points in the playoffs, you need points in the playoffs. And I know it's, if you look at the facts, 6 points would have helped you against Edmonton, right? So, again, you're looking at being able to change game situations. 3 points doesn't sound like a lot, and you're talking to the person that is on record saying you need to cross the goal line with the football if you want to compete for Grey Cups, but you also need those key 3-point moments, right?
Okay, former player here, color commentator with us, of course. Luc Mullinder joining us. This is from James, Paul, and Mark. I'll ask kind of the same question here. Why wouldn't they? And this is the scary game of hindsight 2020. Why wouldn't they run it number 45? From the 3-yard line on the 2-point convert instead of going for the throw? Easy to say that now, but if they run it and get stuffed, then it's like, why wouldn't you throw it? You got a parking lot as an end zone. Yeah.
Same reason. I think that a lot of it may have to do with personnel. I think that if you looked across the field and saw the personnel grouping that Edmonton sent out for that down, maybe that's the reason you don't run AJ. I mean, it's not a guaranteed thing, right? And guys, the three gentlemen that I'm glad, it's a great question, but you have to remember that Edmonton came into that game being the second best team against the run in the whole league. So it's not the runs that were easy it's passing where they're vulnerable. And the problem was it just looked like we were just not even close to being on the same page with the throw, right? Like it doesn't look like one either a Joe or Trevor Harris expected something different. And to be honest, when the ball was thrown at the end of the game, I didn't think that ball was catchable anyways, regardless of who miscommunicated. It didn't seem like it was going to be caught. So again, I think that if you look at obviously hindsight's 2020. Edmonton was struggling against the run, but for a 2-point conversion with that on the line, if you feel confident in a short pass, I'm not surprised you go for it in that situation. Is it the Marshawn Lynch on the 1-yard line Super Bowl up for grabs conversation? Maybe that changes. Maybe if the Riders are in that similar such situation in the Western Final of the Grey Cup, maybe they remember the Edmonton incident, the 2-point and run the ball after all.
Malcolm Butler, love that guy. Curtis brings up a good point. They stuffed AJ on a 2-point convert earlier. Here it is right here if you're watching the stream.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's got to play into it as well. Okay, Luke, we took up a lot of your time here. Again, as always, thanks so much. Short week for you. You got to clean the pool? Are you winterizing it this week?
Oh, man, I don't know what. It's got a bunch of leaves in it right now, man. I want this team to get on the plane to Ottawa. Let's go get a win. Let's go get some momentum back, man. You got to finish strong.
30 degrees tomorrow. God, you'll be using that.
Is that what it's going to be? I got things to do anyways. Got to work.
Speaking of Ottawa, they're not mathematically eliminated, but it's a long shot. It's uphill. Are guys playing for jobs, so they're going to be playing loose, playing free? Just letting it all hang out because there's nothing.
Man,
there's nothing
right?
left.
Yeah. Guys are absolutely playing to put things on film. You're already seeing the GM starting to build his strategy for next year by trading Lorenzo Maldini for a 4th-round pick. I think that that coaching staff probably has their bags packed already. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate part of the business, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see them move on from Bobby Dyson and their coach. And this is somebody who's a huge fan of Bobby Dice. It just hasn't worked over there. They've got the talent, and there are always excuses like blaming injuries and stuff. But every team has to deal with injuries, right, guys? So I think that. But here's the thing. It doesn't mean you sleep on the Red Blacks, right? It doesn't mean you consider you take this week lightly. It doesn't mean that again, this next few games for the Riders, it's not about the opponent. It's about them. It's about how they're executing and doing that consistently and finding that consistency. That's what you want. It's the same thing with the refereeing conversation, right? You just want the fans and stuff of the CFL or the NFL. We don't care about what the rule is behind the replay system. We just want it to be consistent. For instance, when Nathan Rourke or whoever it was got their helmet knocked off in the game the night before, I felt Trevor Harris took a hit on Saturday that was very similar to the one that Rourke took, and I was shocked that it wasn't, because that's what you want. You just want consistency. You know what I mean? So that's the play there. I was shocked that wasn't called, and the reason why I was shocked was because the night before you saw same sort of deal with a defender coming in to make a tackle and a quarterback going low. So if that was a roughing the passer call, then the one that Trevor Harris took should have been as well. That, again, we just want consistency within the system.
Yeah, that's wouldn't we all?
You know what I mean, guys?
Yeah,
right. That's I don't care. I don't care that
things.
Yeah, I don't care if what the rule is. I don't care if the booth is allowed to change whatever. I just want consistency, right? Make it the same thing, and that's hard, right? That's hard. And I've always said that the referees in this league don't get a ton of resources, so sometimes I understand why the inconsistency is not there, but it's frustrating nonetheless.
Did you golf in Edmonton?
I did. Sturgeon Valley.
How'd it go?
St. Albert.
How'd it go?
Man, shout out to the dudes that I golfed with, man. First of all, when I talked to them, when I spent some time with them, it was just really encouraging. They had gotten 112 rounds in that season. They were 2 retired dudes, 112 rounds. It's just they were living the greatest life ever, man. But they were really cool. Had a great time with them. They put up with me and my inconsistent drives and stuff like that. So it was a great time. But yeah, great stay. If anybody's ever in St. Alberta, and you're a golfer, go to Sturgeon Valley. It was a great time.
Take the sticks to Ottawa. Oh, beautiful to play there in the fall.
Oh man, no. Unfortunately, for work, that's where our head office is. So I'm gonna my itinerary before the game is probably gonna be full.
Got it.
Suits.
Go clean some pool filters. It's supposed to be windy tomorrow. Lots of leaves tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta get them.
Heads up on that.
All right, boys.
All right, boss.
Barney,
thanks for joining.
we got to get the pizza, but I want to hear about the Texas trip too. I'll see you guys later,
buddy. Okay, see you later. Color commentator Luc Mullinder joining us on the SportsCage. We're going to get to some of these text messages when we come back. Also recap everything else that happened locally, sports-wise. It's the SportsCage. We're the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. SportsCage Power Rankings just released a couple hours ago. Whoa, have things changed? Number 1 team in the CFL in the Power Rankings from the SportsCage, BC Lions. followed by the Montreal Alouettes, then the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You can catch all those at sportscage.com. Sports Select futures for the Grey Cup. Still the Riders front runners, 325 on the pro line. Montreal and Hamilton follow. Major League Baseball, nothing today. If you didn't hear, the Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners, Milwaukee Brewers, and Philadelphia Phillies are in bye in a division series. Things are going to start tomorrow. The one a lot of people are watching, New York and Boston. SJHL tonight, Humboldt at Kindersley. And the SportsCage.com poll, what concerns you most about the Riders' 27-25 loss in Edmonton Saturday? There's 4 options to vote at SportsCage.com. There is some football to watch tonight. Not the greatest games. Jets at Miami, Cincy's at Denver. Sports Ticker is for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Bundle and save with Reliance. Rent a new water heater and softener together and get $400 in cash back. Call on Reliance today. Hour 2, we'll start with the Roughrider Coaches Show. Maquay McDaniel will join us. We'll be back in moments. It's the Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. Welcome back on this Monday. Hope you're having a great day. If you are harvesting out there, make sure you send in those pictures. 936-6262. We got winning on the program today, too. SaskTel picked the score. Let's fire it up right now for the next 2 hours. 936-6262. If you're sending in comments, because there's some really good comments coming in from our Sports Cage listeners today, also pick the score. Riders Red Blacks, Friday night. And then we are going to have some concert tickets to give away. We'll maybe save that for the third hour when we have Darian. Maybe Darian can sing again for us. Maz is with me. Curtis is in the pocket taking your text messages and calls there. Couple of text messages to get to. Joseph, it's a little bit long, but I'll read it. He basically just says, it's so exhausting being a Rider fan. They always just play as good as their opponent, can never do it the easy way. Calgary loses twice. We don't take advantage. Every year they keep you on the edge of your seat right down to the last seconds of the game. Good one.
Can I pose that? We're 10-4. I'm going to say this is one of the least frustrating seasons to be a Rider fan in recent history. So, I get it. We didn't win on the weekend. I didn't think we were going to go undefeated this season. But, yeah, and the thing, Edmonton played well. They did enough.
Gary in Winnipeg says, I fail to understand why CFL teams immediately try to run the ball in the first 2 possessions. The defense is fresh at the beginning of the game. Running the ball on first down for a 1 or 2 yard gain makes no sense. Gary, run out to the nearest high school that you're by and then talk to the offensive coordinator or coach on why. And then he'll run through the play action package and then it'll all make sense. And watch the linebackers as well. Leonard, they didn't stuff AJ. AJ was still standing upright, but the ref blew the whistle too quick. Okay. He got stopped on the 2-point convert. So maybe that played into it a bit. Regardless, keep them coming. Bill, I see yours there as well. Eli's got another one. And Kim says, I get Tim all the time. Full name is Kimberly, so I have to keep my head up when I'm waiting to see a doctor because the receptionist is looking for a female. Kim in Kelowna. Oh, that's good. But Maz was talking about how he was called Curtis all day the other day when his contractor showed up all weirdly like at his front door. It's that time of the week, though. Let's get going with the Roughriders Coaches Show.
It's time for the Sports Cage Riders Coaches Show for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation. Get your 50-50 tickets now for all Rider home and away games. Riders5050.ca and Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Coach Maquay McDaniel, receiver coach of the Riders, is joining us with it. My name's Barney. I get Barry all the time. I get Marty. I get who knows what the heck. You, Maquay, you must get called some weird names once in a while too.
Oh yeah, I get Mark K a lot, but the QU makes sense, right? So yeah, that's about it though. That still sounds
studly though. Like Barry,
similar,
I feel
close.
like I'm 65 and I work on transmissions or something. Let's keep it moving with football, Coach. Couple days, you watch tape today. You guys have your coaches meeting. Your group, the receivers, slow starts again. Can you pinpoint that all the time in the league as a player, as a coach? Why the slow starts on offense?
Attention to details. Offense is a little different than defense. One guy mess up on offense and it can change the whole play. One guy mess up on defense, you don't even see it, right? So when you look at the film, man, it's frustrating because stuff is open, but it's one guy every play, or we put together nice drives and turnovers, right? So it's stuff we can definitely fix, not taking anything away from the defenses, but we just got to be locked in on the details, and everybody just got to try to win their job every play.
You complete the fifth on this one, but that 2-point convert play, is that a slant or a dig in a post corner from JoJo?
No, it's not. But I think he wants that one back. Let's just say that. But no, okay. That wasn't the route.
Okay.
Hey, Coach, because you played the game as well, and now you've got a coach in this group. Sam Emmel is back on the field. We'd love to see it. But from your experience, how many games does it take to get back into game shape or playing shape? But practice is one thing, and we all love to see Sam out there, but it takes a while, doesn't it, to get kind of back in the groove?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would say at least 2 to 3 games to really.
Okay.
It's one, getting your legs up under you, right? You can get your wind back quick, right? If you're a guy that likes to stay in shape, but as much as you run or train in a pool or at practice, that game speed is just different, right? You can practice all hard, fast, all you want, but that game speed is just a different speed. So I say 2-3 games, get your legs back under you, and a guy like him should be ready to
go. Receivers coming back, right? Like, it's kind of the time of the year that it's got to be a good thing. But then is it tough juggling, getting guys up to speed?
Oh, no, not at all. Guys have been out, have been in meetings. They know they're expected to know the offense when they come back, right? So they've been locked in even when they weren't playing, right? So that's just one thing we preach, especially guys that we know are coming back. Don't know how long they're going to be out, but, I mean, they're in the meetings. Guys like to get those reps under their belt, but they at least know what's going on. It's not brand new to them.
Kean Schaefer-Baker is a guy that Rider fans love. Unfortunately, he's been out, pretty much all of this season. He's been practicing, and we're not asking you to slip out any information that isn't ready for the press or whatever. Is Kean Schaefer-Baker close to being back to the starting lineup?
I think it just depends on how his body responds. He's been out there running around, getting more reps, looking better and better each day. So it all depends on how his injury and his body, feels once he gets those, game reps or those practice reps where he's taking a lot of pounding.
Is there one of the guys in the receiving corps that reminds you of you when you were playing?
Oh, that's a good question. Not really. I would say I think their guys are a lot better than me for sure. If I had to, I guess, give you one guy, I would say toughness wise, Sam. Right, he's a tough guy. You can tell him to block DNs all game. He won't complain. He it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but he's down there grinding it out. But Sam's a lot faster than I was, and a good guy down the field. So I wasn't really that down the field guy. I was more of a route runner type guy. But just the toughness. Him with the ball in his hands, fearless. Anything you ask him to do, he's going to do. So I would say from that standpoint, just that mindset. I would say Sam.
You guys are playing the Ottawa Redblacks this week. Geno Lewis, to me, is one of the best, if not the best, 50-50 ball guy in the CFL. You're a receiver. Do you just naturally have that, or can that be taught to go get the 50-50?
Yeah, that's natural. I coached Geno in 2019 when I was in Montreal coaching. He has a knack for it. I've never seen someone as good as him as far as the timing. He's long, so he goes up with his hands. But that is a knack. Some guys have it. Bigger receivers have it more than smaller receivers because they get more opportunities down the field. But Geno, definitely one of the best I've seen at those 50-50 balls up here. He's just gifted in that area.
For the receivers, when they're going to the line, and this maybe it's giving the fans a look behind, how many plays in the playbook that these guys have upstairs to this point?
I would say on any game, I mean, it could be 100 plus, right? So it's just different ways of doing stuff. It could be similar concepts, but it could be, different concepts paired with something different from on the backside. So it's just, it sounds like a lot, but once you're in the offense, like to me, it's pretty simple.
AJ Ouellette goes over 1,000 yards on Saturday. That doesn't help. That doesn't happen without having receivers block. How much of a focus is that? Is it a matter of like, if you can't block, you can't play for us? Like, because it's critical to our success.
Oh yeah, I preach that from day one. I mean, especially planning this offense, seeing how it works. This offense doesn't work if receivers don't block. And it's all 4, all 5, however many's on the field. The slots do a lot of the dirty work, blocking DNs. But once we get to that second level, those guys on the outside, your job is to get your guys so now we can break a 50-yard, 60-yard run instead of 20 yards, right? It's a big difference. So, yeah, that's day one. You got to be able to block. Can't just catch the ball. Anybody can catch the ball. Got to be a complete receiver in this offense.
Were you the complete receiver? And I want to know what was your pattern? I loved asking receivers. You go to the QB, say, hey, give me this one. What was yours?
Oh, yeah, I was complete. I was blocking all the time. But my favorite route was a dig. I don't know what it was. I wasn't scared to go over the middle. Even since high school, it's just been my favorite route. So love it when you can catch it on the move, too. Defensive guys trying to come down at you, and you just get out that backside and just run away from them.
That's awesome. Those are stones right there.
When you were a player, Maquay, who was the most fiery quarterback you played with in the CFL? Who's the guy in the huddle that was, well, you may get lit up if you didn't do your job properly, but who usually would bring the fire?
You know what? Not a lot of guys. People talk about Bo, but when I played with Bo was young. He was cool, calm, collected. Bo just had that it factor. Didn't matter how many points we were down. He took control of that huddle. Even a young Bo, first year, you just felt that confidence that we were going to go down and score. But the most fiery guy was definitely Drew Tate for me. Drew's a little firecracker if you know who he is. Seeing some stuff in the media from Drew, but Drew's a firecracker for sure.
A lot of fans are kind of worried here. We got a couple of losses in the row. Short week to Ottawa. How much do things change when you have a little bit of a short week?
A little bit. You don't really get the reps you would on a normal week. But for me, especially coming off a loss, I love it. It gives you a chance to get right back on the field, especially when you watch the tape and you see, like, man, how much you left out there. Like I said, never taking anything away from other teams, but, make the adjustments. It's time to focus back in, right? We just dropped 2. Right, it's time to lock in, right? We told these guys are playing one for their season, and guys are playing for jobs. They're going to play harder than they have all year, and that's the kind of teams you want to play against because that's going to be playoff football anyway, right? So every play matters. So this is a test or getting us ready for not looking down the line, but every possession matters because you're going to get everybody's best from here on out. It's the kind of ball you want to be playing. It's playoff football time, so it's time to go. So I love it. I love short weeks, so I'm ready to get back out there and see how we respond.
I know their record doesn't show it, but the Ottawa Redblacks, there's a lot of talent on offense and especially on that defense. Who on that Ottawa defense worries you, or who are some of those people that you always got to know where they are on the field?
Well, luckily they just traded away one, so that kind of is what it is. So he was definitely one of those guys you definitely game plan for. But like you said, they got guys everywhere. I like Santos Knox. He's always all over the field. We know Pickett. They're gonna use him to stop the run. But I think their front 7 does a lot to kind of help out their secondary. But for guys you want to look out for, definitely Pickett, Knox. They just traded away one, but I know they have another DN over there. Can't think of his name right now. That's pretty good. But like you said, personnel wise, on paper they look good, especially coming into the season. And not just defense, their offense looks good on paper too. So definitely not a game you can go into relax. Like I said, for us, just coming off the game that we lost, we know we got to lock in. Like I said, those guys are playing for their jobs, so they're going to be ready to go.
I want to leave you with this one, Coach. Rule changes last week. As a guy who came up here and played, what do you love about the Canadian game as a receiver, and what do you maybe advocate for when you talk about our game down south?
Gotcha. Number one was, for me, the waggle. I had never done it before. Wasn't the fastest guy, so it kind of helped me out a little bit. But it is something you have to get used to. You can't just run full speed toward the line, because then you can't get in out your breaks, right? So it is a feel, but once you learn it, you can really use it to your advantage. And I love the pace of the game with the returns, right? It's moving fast. It was a lot of passing. We know the NFL is throwing a lot more now, but it was just fast paced. I love that. I loved all the returns. It was just exciting. But I'm not going to lie. I'm glad they got rid of that missed field goal rule. I didn't like that. We lost the game last year in Toronto with it too. So I'm good. If you can bring it out, bring it out. But while we were rewarding the kickers, if you miss a field goal and it goes out the back of the end zone, that's the only one I didn't like. But it's changed now, so I think that's good.
Okay, Curtis just say he found something here on the stream. You're watching it. What was this play all about right here?
Yeah, so it was just BC. We knew they got confused with motion, right? So they got confused with motion. They dropped me right down the middle, and that kind of set the tone for the game, and we kept it going. So it was just, like I said,
there was nobody around you for 50 yards.
I thought
brilliant play call.
BC had 6 guys on the field.
Yeah, so what happened was they went cover 0, but they blitzed from both sides. No one tracked when I motioned, so they definitely messed it up. And that was definitely my easiest touchdown, but I enjoyed it.
If you're just listening on the radio, you can't see it. It's how many yards, Curtis? 68 yards. Markway touchdown when he was with the Stamps against BC, and no one, the nearest guys in Salmon Arm. Who's your NFL team?
I've always been a Cowboys fan. I know it's been rough.
Yes, that was the Super Bowl last night.
I'm always gonna.
That was a victory. The 40-40 tie. That was the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl win this year. I figured if you didn't score the touchdown to win, that was the best it was going to get. But Markway, it doesn't. That 2-point missed convert run back for 2 points. Every play matters in a football game. That was the deciding fact. Nobody knew it at the time, but that was the deciding play of that game, because that's the only way that thing stays tied.
Yeah, it was huge. And then Green Bay ended up kicking a field goal to tie the game, right? It's in overtime, right? Game would have been over. So, every play matters. And then once we got that, you could kind of see a little spark in the whole team after that play. So, definitely huge.
So we learn about Coach McDaniel today is he likes running dig routes across the middle, and he's a Cowboys fan. Just sucker for punishment, Coach.
Yeah, it's been rough, but hey, I'm loyal. I'm sticking with him. Yeah. Once Jerry leaves, we'll be fine, though.
Jerry ain't leaving. Jerry is not leaving.
He's got to leave at some point.
Have a good week of practice. Good luck in Ottawa. We know you guys are all right. Thanks for doing this, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
Right on. Maquay McDaniel joining us, Roughrider Receiver coach. And a lot of Cowboy fans, coming on the show.
I know. Well, but Barney, when we grew up, it's not like it was in the Stone Ages, but there was limited TV channels, like 10 or less, Channel U. What was on? Vikings games, Cowboys games. They probably had the same situation.
Melfar Superstar, a lot of Detroit Lions games. With Detroit, remember we had Detroit cable?
Well, look at most CFL games. You hoped and prayed when the Rider game would start that it wouldn't be blacked out. That was the best when it wasn't. But it would come on, they'd show like 5 seconds, and all of a sudden they'd switch to other programming because the game was blacked out. And you're like, so.
And then that's when Dad would flick on the old radio, and it was down to the sideline, and Willie Cole. Willie, what do you got for us? Those were good times, the blackout days. Is the game blacked out? Do you know if the game was blacked out? If not, we're just going to watch Bernie Smilovitz and Detroit Sports give us what's going on with the Pistons and Lions.
But with Jerry Jones, if he ever does decide to step aside, there are his sons and his daughter that run the team. The Joneses are going nowhere. And Stephen Jones probably thinks he can be the general manager once Jerry's done being the general manager.
You have watched the Netflix documentary, and people out there that have watched the Netflix documentary totally get what you're talking about. Okay, we got to come back with the clutch performer, and then we are going to get to some of these text messages. Some good ones in today. 20 words or less kind of stuff, too. We're streaming through the YouTube channel at sportscage.com. We are on all the streams, and, of course, on the mighty 620 CKRM. Okay, quickly, the European team at the Ryder Cup, sticking it right out. It's like, hey, and just got chirpy. And the videos that are coming out today, I like it. I sprinkled on the Americans, so I lost there. Locally, Peter Borscht, the beat man from the Regina Thunder, over 1,000 yards rushing on the season, and there's still games to go. Good job, Peter. Also, I want to give a shout out here because this one came in on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. The Horizon Senior Boys Golf Team capturing the provincial team gold. Team consists of Trice Wallen, Tylen Wallen, Aiden Melstad, Jack Ellis. None of them are in grade 12, so future is bright unless they get picked up by some academy. Go play golf somewhere, grade 12 year down south. They were in 4th place after day one, Maz. Ended up winning by 2 strokes over Saskatoon, who captured silver. So good job to the Horizon Senior Boys Golf Team. Thanks for sending that in as well. I have an unclutched performer, but you go. Do you have one, Curtis?
Well, I have a clutch and clutch. Okay. So clutch performer, Brian
Curtis.
Adams, rocking the Agrodome last night, because let's pretend it's late 80s Brian Adams, and he's just rocking out.
Favorite Brian Adams song?
Heat of the Night.
Heaven. I'm a big Heaven guy. What?
Are you
What's wrong
slow
with
dance?
that?
Are you slow dancing in section Q? Like,
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Pour myself a whiskey by myself in my sunroom and throw on some Brian Adams and watch old videos of him singing Heaven.
Brian
My wife
Adams
thinks
is
I'm
one of
weird
those
too.
where there he comes on the normal radio, if it's on a Spotify playlist or whatever. I never hit next. I never look for another station or hit the next song. I'll always end up listening. Unclutch performer. This is from the text line. This was preemptive. This was sent yesterday. Some guy saying doesn't agree with the policy that you can't leave, like Brant Center events. Go outside and come back, like for smokes or whatever. You know, it's concert time. People are giving her, just like living life. And it's a policy. I mean, you can't leave the Rider game either. Like once you're in, you're in. If you leave, you leave. There are a lot of places that do that now. I didn't know you couldn't go outside for a dart anymore if you're at the Brand. No.
Just get him one of those saunas from Arctic Spa. Put it in the corner. Let everyone hotbox in there.
Well, and smokers wouldn't mind that, but it's true. I know when we went out to the Rider game in Calgary, like it's a free for all at halftime. They give you these paper tickets to come back in. Nobody's asking them for them back. You just wandered out in the parking lot. Came back in.
Kids will never know. Kids will never know the grind of when we used to go to the bar and when you got home, you had to shower. You might as well have played a hockey game. You just reeked of smoke. You had to shower before you went to bed. And if you didn't, you were gross.
Life was so different. Who's your unclutch performer? What do you got for unclutch?
Unclutch performer. Getting my Sports Select ticket Sunday. Love Co-op. Co-op's got unreal coffee, by the way. It's like the highlight of my Sunday morning. I know. That's where my life is nowadays. Can we be easy, especially when it's cold? Can we be easy on the young people that are out there doing a good job working at Co-op? The one poor kid was kind of getting a little bit chastised because there was a little bit of soap on the top of this guy's vehicle after he went through the car wash. Not a perfect science, not an exact science. Might get some soap on the top of your vehicle. Now I could see if you got a bunch of, it didn't work and there's something mechanically wrong. Okay, so this guy got a free wash. So I went out and peeked and looked, and I was like, give him some Kleenex. Wipe that off on your way. That's unclutch.
Can I nominate myself as an unclutch performer in the car wash? So I have one of those car wash cards, and you can buy 5 or 10 at a time. You just swipe it through.
Yeah, Sherwood Co-op all the time. And they're great gifts. They are. I got that for coaching football this year. Someone gave me a ultimate wash. Great gift.
So it's my turn. I waited in line. I wheel up. And I'm 100% sure I have car washes left on this car.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Swiper through, nothing. Swiper through. And there was a guy in an Audi behind me, and I could just see he's getting more. Every time he sees my arm go, I can see him getting more mad. So then, because I parked too close to the machine, I have to kind of get out of my car to slide out. I should have went passenger side. I'm a dummy, I know. And then I got to go in the store to be like, hey, my card's not working. And the lady swipes it through. She goes, well, there's no car washes left on this. Like they're used. I'm like, are you sure? Can you? So I don't even have to finish the words, run it again. She runs it again, and just with the look of, there's nothing on here, sir. I'm like, okay, can I'll buy some. And by this time there's more cars waiting. And then I come back in, and then I sheepishly try and get back in my car, which is too close to the thing where you swipe your card and then go in.
Can that be Pigeon of the Week move? Can we get video of this? Can you pull video from whatever store place you were at?
Well, so meanwhile, I had to, when I went inside to check the card, there was a bunch of people in line ahead of me getting gas and everything else. So it's not like I was the only one. So this took a while. So now everybody is mad at the guy in the gray Toyota.
Audi guy behind you, for sure. Probably sport coat, jeans, and too much cologne on.
No? There's a lot of that lifestyle that I kind of approve of. But anyways, his car, he was that guy. His car's never dirty anyways. Mine desperately needed it. There was an F-150 behind him. It needed it. Him, not so much. It was a leisure thing, so I did it. I wasn't proud, but we got through it, right?
That's a tough look.
I owned my mistake. I swear I had car washes left on that card.
That's a tough look, man. Clutch perform. Do you got one, Curtis? No? Okay. Clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey, Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. You can always call them 781-1077. What are we doing here for time? We're okay. Let's go through some of the solid text messages. We are playing SaskTel Pick the Score, brought to you by SaskTel. Send it in, 936-6262. What's the score Friday? Riders, Red Blacks. Kickoff at 5:30. That's an early one. We're going to fire here 2:30. Pre-game show. Let us know the score. You got a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card closest to. Curtis is going to award tickets to the October 10th game right now. I wanted to go to... do you have any of these loaded up, Maz? Blair says, wondering why coaches in both the CFL and NFL feel the need to go for a 2-point convert in the first 3 quarters, giving up
take the points.
Take the points.
Always take the points. You never know how it's going to stack up at the end.
I agree. I believe they should hold off till the fourth quarter. Had we kicked the convert in the third, we could have kicked a convert in the dying seconds to tie. Well, not a convert, but yeah, we get what you mean, Blair. That's a good point. That's a coach. I think that's a coach philosophy thing. Some coaches are just take the points. We'll figure it out later.
So Saturday, watching college football, Alabama's playing Georgia, and Georgia was down all game, and they claw back, and it's 24-21. It's 4th and 1 from like the 12-yard line. Instead of Georgia kicking a field goal to tie the game, they go for it. Alabama marches down and scores, and then nothing. Game over. Like, man, it is very frustrating. Take the points, and in the fourth quarter, then decide. 5-6 minutes left. All right, maybe you got to go, but take them. Take them when they're easy. And especially since the Rouge is still in play. Because even a missed field goal can get you a Rouge.
Bill, this was from earlier. Bill's that fan. We love these guys. But a lot of times they're intense. We may have missed a couple of field goals, but what the hell kind of game is Harris trying to play? Back-to-back interceptions and then a pass to nobody within 10 yards. I think either him, Mace, O'Day, and Reynolds had Bryce looking to do something other than football. I don't get the last part.
Who's Bryce?
I don't know. Maybe he knows Curtis that came to your house.
No, anyway. It was Steve. I was Curtis.
Bill.
Steve was our guy.
Bill doesn't like. We talked about that in hour one. Harris didn't look super polished. There's no doubt about that. Joseph's still winning text of the day with this. He could have just left it with the one line. It's so exhausting being a Rider fan.
No, there's been tougher years. Trust me.
There's been a few people, of course, coming to Lawther's defense today. Brendan was one. Always nice, short, quick little messages from him. In Lawther's defense, Mace didn't put him in a good position to succeed with trying that 56-yarder. I was surprised we didn't cough and corner it. Is 56 too long? It's not your dad's 56. It's the new. You see in the NFL how these guys are booting field goals like right down the you know what? Like,
yeah, Brandon Aubrey can kick a 65-yard field goal.
Like if you hung like a soup can from the top, like it seems like he is like right dialed in. But yeah, 56, is that a tough spot for him? I don't know.
Go back and listen to Luke in hour one. The tough spots or not, they've been more than patient with him this year. It's time to go, because in the playoffs, if that's as close as you're going to get, you're going to have to try and score points.
Prairie Land Rentals text line, by the way, 600 Albert Street in Regina, power tools, gardening tools, generators, big items like skid steers, they can deliver in and around Regina. You get to deal with the owner at 600 Albert Street. If I was going to say one of our faithful listeners, if one of them was going to message in about the Super Bowl halftime show, odds on favorite probably would have been Roscoe. So he goes, "What's up with the Super Bowl halftime show? Bad Bunny? Question mark. This is the first time in the history of my life I don't know who the halftime show is. I saw a meme or I saw a post on social media. So funny. You know how dudes, they have their profile pictures for social media and it's them taking a selfie with sunglasses on driving? It was like a collage of those guys. And it was like, don't know who the Super Bowl halftime show is. I was like, yeah, that's a win.
I saw that. Me neither. I'd heard the name before, but I was like, but then I find out today. Do you know who is on Roger Goodell's committee to pick the halftime performer? He's on the payroll for the NFL. Jay-Z. Okay, the two biggest people. Here comes.
Did you guys watch Happy Gilmore too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Bad Bunny was in it with Travis Kelce. He was one of the waiters.
Super memorable.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
What's one of his songs, Curtis?
I'm not a big Bad Bunny guy.
Exactly.
Oh no, wait. He did one with what's his name? Skrillex. It's called In the Ghetto. Big fan.
Wouldn't you agree that the two biggest music stars in the world right now are Taylor Swift and Morgan Wallen? Right? They're in their own orbit. They would pull eyeballs that maybe Jay-Z. Oh, did I put that in the group chat? The last time they had a country halftime show was 31 years ago. It was Clint Black and Travis Tritt. They've never had one since.
That's it. Was Travis Tritt wearing his leather pants and like hip thrusting, and he plays too long. He's known for playing too long. It's like, Travis, why are you playing covers? You have enough. You have enough good tunes.
I saw him at a casino about 10 years ago. Maybe he's quit drinking, but he should have. He was quite drunk by the end of the show. He wasn't the only one, but I'm like, dude, you're the one that has to sing the songs and play guitar. But Travis, okay, Taylor Swift, Morgan Wallen, right? If that was announced, a lot of people, even if you're not casual, you've probably heard of. But Bad Bunny, I'm like you. I'm like, who is this? Zero interest in this now. Zero.
I said it to my wife, and because she works with the U, she's like, oh yeah, we know who it is. And then Curtis, who are we missing? Morgan Wallen, Taylor Swift, and then you young kids. Who else slaps out there? Who would be a good halftime show?
Well, did The Weeknd the other year?
The Weeknd, yeah.
I'm thinking like big Canadian talent. You know who would be good?
No. Anne-Marie. I don't know.
Nobody in Canada.
Tate McRae.
No.
From Calgary.
She has no songs. Like, you have to perform for 12 minutes.
She kind of piggybacks on. Yeah, I agree. Dated Regina boy Cole Sillinger for a while. Bad Bunny.
The Johnner Brothers.
10 more
halftime
miles.
Show.
Let's go. Yeah.
Are you singing there, Maz? You might be muted.
I'm trying to think like if there's any of with the youth. Taylor Swift for sure.
Sure. And Morgan Wallen. Those are the two biggest stars in music right now. It doesn't matter the genre.
This is a point in your life where you really think, for the first time ever, I have no idea who the halftime show is. Jeffrey Burton Cummings must still be pretty high. Jeffrey from Winnipeg. No, where's he from? Calgary. I'm coming to Calgary next weekend, Jeffrey. We should go for a beer.
I was watching the Baltimore-Kansas City game yesterday. And when you look into the crowd, like read the room if you're the NFL. Look at the fans that were there. God, is Baltimore's defense terrible. And then Lamar Jackson gets hurt. Your season's over. Just look at the crowd and the age of the crowd. There's not a lot of Bad Bunny fans in that lower bowl.
It's a TV thing, though.
At Yeehaw Stadium. I know, but it's...
Speaking of NFL, I got taken to the cleaners this weekend, starting with the Riders, then the Ryder Cup, then NFL. Don't listen to me on anything, but sportselect.com, sprinkle of the day action. Let's go there. Tonight, right away here, New York Jets, Miami.
Oh, God.
The point spread's 3. The pro line. So on the pro line and Sports Select, you got to win by over 3. So the tie is paying $3.30. I like a 3-point game in this one. Then the late one, Cincinnati at Denver. Is this one of those weird games where it's like, holy, Cincinnati won?
No, I think Denver at home.
We need to find out. Tegan's a big Cincy fan.
There's so much to be proud of to be a Cincinnati Bengals fan. You're Denver at home.
Yeah.
Are you Sean Payton? Yeah. I was going to say McVay. Is Sean Payton at home?
Denver on pro line is 140. So you could put those together. And then it's beauty right now. Sportselect.com. Make your picks. Hit submit picks. It kicks out a QR code. You go to the Lotto Spot retailer. There's your bets right there. Still time to get into it for tonight. First kickoff's at 5:15. Second one's at 6:15. Grab a Western Pizza wheel and you're set to go. Sprinkle of the day for Sports Select. It's all at sportselect.com. We'll go to a quick break here. Keep the text messages coming and all that. We'll talk some local hockey, give you a rundown. We come back and we will tee up the winning in hour 3 that we have for some concert tickets. It's not Burton Cummings. It's not Travis Tritt. It's not Clint Black. You'll find out who when we come back. It's a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. Sports Cage power rankings for the CFL. The single source of truth, isn't it, Curtis? Look at this. What happened here? Sportscage.com. But leading the way, the BC Lions, followed by the Montreal Alouettes, then the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and then the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Like I said, you can see them at sportscage.com. Riders from Sports Select still the odds-on favorite in the futures category to win the Grey Cup. They're at 325. NFL tonight, Jets, Miami, Cincy at Denver, the double bill. Major League Baseball starts tomorrow. Cincinnati Reds clinching the NL wildcard spot after the Mets collapse. The wildcard series, they're going to go with Cleveland hosting Detroit, New York, Yankees battling Boston, San Diego visiting Chicago, Cincinnati traveling to face the Dodgers in the NL, Blue Jays, Mariners, Brewers, Philly waiting the winners. SJHL tonight, Humboldt's at Kindersley. And the sportscage.com poll, what concerns you most about the Riders' 27-25 loss in Edmonton Saturday? There's 4 options for you at sportscage.com. In hour 2, it's for Extreme Hockey and Sport and Umbrella Marketing, where you can win $1,000 back to your purchase of any team apparel. And don't forget about the price match guarantee at Extreme Hockey and Sport as well. Extreme Hockey and Sport, they're local and supporting local. All right, Maz. Local hockey, recapped it again on the weekend. WHL, Friday night, Home opener for the Regina Pats. Liam Pugh, Maddox Schultz in the lineup. We talked about it here. It was here on 620 CKRM. PA wins. PA's 3-0-1. Moose Jaw is 3-0.
Yeah, Lyndon Lakovich is making it look easy. I saw one of his goals last night, and I'm like, yeah. Now, depending on how the Warriors are undefeated, and depending how their season goes, if you're a team that is close, well, no, exactly. Like the phone's already. I would love to know the Ripplinger phone's already ringing. What? Okay, so it's the third week of September. What is the offer now? Can you imagine? 3 weeks into October. What if we get 3 weeks into November and then December? Oh, like it's just going to be it's like somebody at the VLT at Casino Regina, and it's just all going to pay out, and there's going to be players and draft picks and
smoke
Lakovich lottery.
Let's go. Big win. Ripplinger's probably looking at his phone. He's like, oh, Kelowna number. Oh, Everett number. Oh, Spokane number. Yeah, no, there's going to be Kamloops is leading the Western Conference. It's early, 3 games in, but Kamloops is undefeated. The Blades are 2-2. Surprising, Lethbridge 0-2-1 there. So we're going to talk to Ephram McNutt, captain of the Regina Pats, in hour 2. SJHL, 2 undefeated teams still. The Broncos of Humboldt and the Flin Flon Bombers. Warman, first win ever, franchise history. 6-5 overtime over Kindersley.
And I love the fact that there's a game tonight. I wonder when they were making the schedule to be like, let's throw a wild card in. Let's have a Monday nighter in the SJ. Oh. Maybe we do more of that.
Kindersley don't care. We're hosting Monday nighters. Humboldt, you're coming to us. You're making the trip down the 7 to us on a Monday. Let's go. So there's only one game in the SJ tonight. AAA, Moose Jaw. I heard from someone the other day. They're like, Moose Jaw's got a good team. So obviously the Pat Canadians have Pugh and Schultz, and that's the thing there. When those guys are out of the lineup, though, are a lot of these teams going to be like, all right, here's what it's all about here. Warman's 2-0 as well.
By far, the Pat Canadians have the biggest profile names for sure. But if what you're saying is true, the Warriors have got a great team. They've got guys that are meshing. They've got guys, maybe not the household names, not that there's a ton in AAA hockey outside of what the Pat Canadians have, but there's also that.
So there's a little rundown of the local hockey scene. Again, Pat Chat coming up at 5:30. Out to the text. We only got 20 seconds. Sid. Love Sid. That's a good name. That name travel. That name, you could be from the 30s or you could be born in the 80s.
The future. Nobody gets the name Sid wrong. Sid is just Sid.
And
Sid.
If you got a buddy named Sid, probably a good chance he's either got a pickup and you're calling him for help, or he's fix-it. He's fix-it guy. Sid by Lumsden brings up a really good point, Maz. Metallica.
Yes.
Have they ever played the Super Bowl, or would they ever want to? I don't have them on speed dial. They would draw eyes. They would be good.
And the Super Bowl's in San Francisco this year. Their hometown.
Yes. Sid, good. They start with 1, nice and slow, the lead up with the soldiers marching. If you've ever gone to a Metallica concert, oh, it's so good. I've been to 3 Metallica concerts. I remember 1. That's how good it was. Stupid SaskTel, that middle concession. And clean their lines out. It's hour 3 is coming up. We got Darian Durant coming and Pat Chat. Stay with us with the fun and concert tickets to give away. Not Metallica. More on the lines of Travis Trent and Clint Black. Those are the hints. We're going to give them away in hour 3. It's a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. Like you said, it's for Kelton Solar on Monday. Anything you need solar, you visit the local guys and girls in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Maz is with me. Curtis is here monitoring the Prairieland Rentals text line. Solid text today, people. I got to say, oh, by the way, Sid texted back. He said pretty much nail on the head with the profile that I laid out with a guy named Sid. He says they always hack up his name, though, and how to spell it. He's SID. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to spell it. Then we're going down the rabbit hole again because we got music tickets to give away this hour. And we talked about is it Bad Bunny or Big Bunny? Bad Bunny playing the Super Bowl halftime show. First time in my life, I have no idea who the halftime show is. Maz, you're in the same boat as me. Curtis kind of knew, but then Curtis threw out a song that wasn't even Bad Bunny's. So Curtis isn't in the know. Then we had a Metallica, Nazareth. See, some of the jokes are starting to come in. But then Jeffrey on the YouTube chat says, Huey Lewis in the news. He's not going to play the halftime show. But then doesn't a guy start thinking about the great tunes from Huey Lewis in the news? I saw them at the Bez Garden a few years ago.
Many.
Do you believe in love?
So many. You believe in love.
Yeah. That Power of Love is Curtis's.
Their album, or it was an album back then, CD and cassette, Sports, was incredible. Like, there's so many hits.
Hip to be
so
square.
Many hits. Yeah, that one's a little cheese, but there's a lot of other good ones.
Yeah, man. There's Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis can play My Backyard anytime. Anytime. If this is it.
I remember seeing the movie Back to the Future, where Power of Love comes from. We were on vacation. Keep in mind, when I say this little tip off about living life in Saskatchewan and how the lifestyle we lived. We were on vacation in Lloydminster, visiting Uncle Carl and Aunt Rose, and me and my cousins went to the Lloydminster Theater and saw Back to the Future.
Carl and Rose, one of them smoked, for sure.
They both smoked Sweet Caporals, and they had not only the rolled kind, but then they had the fixins. They had the fixins on the kitchen table, so you could roll your own next to the butter and the jam. So back then, you rolled cigarettes on the kitchen table. So we were at the Lloydminster Theater. I don't know what it was called. Maybe it was just the theater. Saw Back to the Future and that song Power of Love. Banger in the early 80s.
Oh, keep things.
Take that, tourism, Lloydminster. Don't say that I don't love a little interprovincial tourism. Shout out.
Okay, our tickets to give away in the next hour. We're still playing SaskTel Pick the Score, 936-6262. Let us know the score, Riders, Red Blacks, on Friday. But we have in our hands a sheet of paper that has 2 tickets on it for the November 20th concert at Temple Gardens Center in Moose Jaw. Great venue for concerts, by the way. Moose Jaw. Make a night out of it. Maybe have some knits before. Mad Greek, whatever else. Anyway, the James Barker Band. They have some tunes. They have some good country. Chills is a really good song. There's a drink for that. Lawn Chair Lazy, Just Saying, It's Working, on and on. Good Canadian band, the James Barker Band. 2 tickets.
And I'll give it a thumbs up because the November 20th is a Thursday. So if you got to go to work, it's Friday. What are you really doing? And if you have kind of one of these, you can remote in every once in a while, jobs. And that scam's still going, and I hope that never ends. Trust me. But yeah, Thursday. All right, we're good.
What about EDO? What a great invention.
My sister-in-law, who works for the city of Saskatoon, she's always bragging about her EDO, her earned day off. And I'm like, really? Do you guys need days off? Because I think there's a lot of things you're not doing efficiently. There's probably people that are waiting on hold longer. They need stuff done. Like, no, it's in the collective agreement. Ain't ever coming out.
Crofty's letting us know that Bad Bunny is a Happy caddy in Happy Gilmore too. No, I heard he's a waiter. Crofty. He was a caddy? Yeah. Okay. There you go, Crofty. A little late to the party. We got you. That a boy. Okay, let's get going with Darian.
It's time for Double Talk with Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Darian Durant. Double Talk is brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. At Campbell Safety Consulting, we work towards helping companies create a competitive edge by executing a proactive health and safety program.
Name me one Bad Bunny song, Darian.
Bad Bunny, Monaco. I think.
Is that a
I think he's that's him, right?
Curtis says yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Darian wins.
Darian
wins.
And initial reaction last night, Darian, because I thought of you when the game ended. The Dallas Cowboys tying the Green Bay Packers at 40 was a huge victory for the Dallas Cowboys in that organization.
It was. I mean, especially going against Michael Parsons, right? I mean, you had to be able to validate somewhat that trade, and you'll take not taking the L and not having a huge game. I mean, that's huge for the Cowboys.
That was the Cowboys Super Bowl last night. That was a Super Bowl win in 2025. Jerry, take that to the bank.
Jerry was just sitting on the edge of his seat like it was a Super Bowl game, right? Just the intensity on his face was crazy.
We talked to Luc Mullinder in hour one, Cowboys fan, and I said, "What about the smoke that Jerry throws out in the post game presser about we got great quarterback play on both sides of the ball. We had some guys out there, and then we had one of the most expensive players ever in the NFL or whatever he said." Oh, was that a throw, wasn't it?
Oh, I know. I don't know why Jerry seems to be taking these shots at Micah. I mean, at some point, Jerry's going to have to pay a defender top dollar like that, and it won't be a quarterback. So I don't know. There's some bad blood there, and I don't like those guys taking shots at each other like that.
Yeah, Jerry.
But it was good. The Cowboys tie is going to go down as one of the greatest games in NFL history. That they're probably already working on a 30 for 30.
Look how sad that is. That a tie ball game is going to go down in history. That's so crazy.
This is all seriousness now. This is how the NFL kind of rolls. A lot of people. I listen to Dan Patrick almost religiously every day, and another talk I was listening to, I think, Get Up on ESPN this morning. Hate the ties. Get rid of the ties. I wouldn't be surprised, Darian, if the NFL starts looking at, okay, every game's got to end in a winner and a loser.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when it gets down to the end of the season and you're sitting there fighting for playoff position and you have this tie on your record, you didn't have a chance to win and you don't make the playoffs, it definitely will be something that these owners will get upset about. I mean, it's big business with these NFL games. So ties do no good for you.
Darian, could I ask a question? This is crazy. So yesterday, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-25. Jalen Hurts had no yards passing in the second half. Did you ever have a game where you had no yards passing in either the first or the second half?
Not that I can recall. I mean, even if I just throw a little swing pass to the back or something, but for them to win and him, have no completions is just totally.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Riders and Elks, the loss in Edmonton. Maz and I talked in hour one. It's like the recency bias thing where we don't judge the game on that last drive where they get down there, failed 2-point conversion. Darian, can you put your finger on it as a former quarterback, a guy that ran an offense, won a Grey Cup, all that? Why are they starting so slow offensively?
You know what? I think it's just a new lineup of guys that, entering the lineup, and Trevor's trying to get that chemistry going back with him. I mean, you have a Joe who's came back midseason. Emilus is now entering back in the lineup, and I think Sean Bain is recovering from a knee injury as well. So whenever you're trying to get the chemistry going, you've been used to a certain group of guys for half the season, and now you're pretty much, changing the lineup a little bit for the good, of course. It's tough to get the timing and the chemistry down. So I think these games you're seeing Trevor struggling a little bit, trying to find the timing. And I mean, you have to give the defenses credit as well, right? When you've seen, 10 to 12 games of offense from the Riders, you kind of get a beat on what they're doing. And then it becomes a mano football game. So a mixture of just new guys coming into the lineup and then teams having some film where they can game plan a little bit more and be a little bit more strategic as to how they approach this Rider offense. I think both of those things contribute to it.
What was J.C. Sherritt's defense doing to Trevor to confuse him at times? I mean, there was 2 interceptions. There's 3 turnovers in the first quarter. 2 of them were interceptions. What did you see that they were doing that was causing the Riders problems?
A lot of 3-man rush. They were taking a defensive lineman out, putting an extra linebacker in, and having him kind of hover over the hash mark area, maybe as a quote unquote spy type of guy, just reading Trevor's eyes and just following the ball. And, JC, he was a very good lurking linebacker himself. He had a lot of interceptions as a middle linebacker. So he's known for being able to put guys in position where they can make plays. And you saw that early in the game.
failed 2-point conversion. We had receiver coach Maquay McDaniel on in hour 2, and I asked him, I was like, was that supposed to be a post corner route or whatever? He said, no, that wasn't the route. Miscommunication there. Do you see anything, Darian, on maybe what that would have been, what that should have been? Obviously, it looks like Joe was not on the same page.
Yeah, I just think it was an option route, and I think Trevor expected Joe to do one thing, and Joe did something else. I just think it's just miscommunication, and this is the timing and experience that I'm talking about with these guys just not being on the same page, not playing in a lot of meaningful games and pressure-packed situations. I think as the season progresses, if this is the final lineup of receivers that it's going to be, then they need to use these next few games to get on the same page, so that in these situations, if they come up again, the guys will be on the same page. Okay,
I want to get Curtis to play it on the stream and then try and pause it. Look at the middle of the field right here. So I think Joe's like, is he looking at the middle of the field here and saying, well, I'm taking this to the post where it goes the other way? Because Edmonton has the dig covered, and then they have the corner kind of covered there, Darian, no?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what it looks like. It looks like Joe is going towards the middle. He's kind of throwing his hands up right there saying, he doesn't understand why Trevor's throwing that ball outside. But that's just miscommunication. And that just comes from reps. Yeah. And also, it just seems like Trevor just didn't trust it. He didn't even give him a shot. And, I don't understand that, especially with it being the last play of the game, potentially. You at least want to give your guy a shot for a jump ball. So just miscommunication there. That's what I'll chalk it up to.
Instantly after that play happens and then the game's over, I look at, you've got Keyshawn Johnson, who's been your security blanket all year. You've got Tommy Neild, who's becoming your security blanket. And you have Sam Emilus back. All three of those guys kind of over the middle or somewhere near the goal line on a quick hitter. And I'm not an offensive coordinator, but Joe seemed to be probably the last guy, as you talked about, Darian, as far as familiarity with the quarterback. I'm sure if you could play it again, there would be a different play call. But I'll ask a question because somebody had texted in earlier. Why would AJ Ouellette's running well? Although, yes, he did get stopped earlier. As a quarterback, when you're 2.5 yards out on those 2-point converts, do you like the run or do you like the pass?
I like the best of both worlds. And I would just hate to turn around and just hand the ball off and not give yourself a chance to get on the perimeter or at least put the ball in the air for a 50-50 ball. So I'm kind of on the fence in that situation. I'm just not a firm believer on running the ball with a straight handoff, trying to get a 2-point conversion. I think your percentages go way down if you try to do that, regardless of the type of game that he's had. Defenses are geared up. There are more guys in the box when you only have to get 2 yards. So I wouldn't want to put all my eggs in that basket, but I like the run pass option. And like you said, with Emilus and Keyshawn Johnson and these guys on the same side of the field, the first thing that comes to my head is it's a man zone read. If it's man coverage, you go to one side of the field, and if it's zone, you go to the other. So I don't think it's necessarily a personnel decision. I think it was more so based on coverage.
We talked about J.C. Sherritt and the defense, and football's game planning, right? Now we're how many games in? There's lots of tape. We're watching tendencies and all of that. And a lot of people, some people, not a lot, some people were texting into the Prairie Land Rentals text line, criticizing Mark Mueller, criticizing the play calling. At this juncture of the season, Darian, there's got to be a stack of plays that they're keeping close to their chest vest region.
100%. And not only that, look, different teams match up with you physically, speed wise, certain plays, just don't work against certain teams. And you have to give Edmonton credit. They're a team that's playing with a whole bunch of desperation. They need these final games. Guys are fighting for their jobs, their careers. So they're going to go all out. And they're going to let everything out of their gun, while Saskatchewan knows they're in the playoffs and they want to keep a couple plays near and dear to their heart just in case, you may need them in the playoffs. So it's just two totally different games, two totally different situations, two totally different organizations in the way they're approaching these games. And you just have to give Edmonton credit. I mean, they're fighting for their lives, and It's a different type of intensity you have to have when you're playing against a team like that.
Maz, I want to ask one more on that play where Cody drops back, hits Hilaire deep because it's a zero. It's an all-out blitz. When you're there, are you calling that out of the huddle, being like, okay, and is there a code word? Is there an audible to go to if you see that it's going to be, and then your guy just goes?
Yeah, I think that's 100% film study. I mean, if you watch Roland Milligan on that play, his eyes are kind of in the wrong place, and you see that from film. That if it's a run situation, he's kind of aggressive. His eyes are in the backfield, and Cody had a good fake to the running back and just saw Roland flat-footed and was able to get the ball behind him. So I just think that's game planning, and this is what I mean by teams now having 12, 14 games of film on your tendencies. You have to switch things up a little bit, your stance, how you approach a certain coverage, whatever the case may be. You disguise these things because you can kind of get into a tendency of repetitiveness, in game 12.
Going into the game, my biggest fear was the Edmonton Elks have learned how to hang around, and they're scrappy. When you watch Cody Fajardo be scrappy and do that, because you were a scrappy player yourself, you had to. You willed many wins for this Rider team. Do you kind of little smile to see Cody just grinding away, doing his thing, doing whatever it's going to take to put his team in a position to win?
Yeah, Cody has shown this since his very first start against Saskatchewan earlier this season. And I mean, for a guy to be let go after winning a Grey Cup and organization deciding to go younger, I mean, you just have this chip on your shoulder, and you're going to do everything you can to put yourself back in position to be a starter. Look, we don't have much time to be a professional quarterback, and play at our prime. We have a few years. Cody's point, and for him to be let go in Montreal, he's doing everything in his power to show Edmonton that he can be the guy leading this organization moving forward. So, of course, I'm proud of him. I've had a chance to talk to him personally, and I'm happy that he's going out there and showing his worth to a team who just needs some type of spark.
If you're in the Ottawa Red Blacks locker room, you're saying there's a chance. There's still a chance there. Guys playing for jobs, coaches maybe playing for jobs, maybe the new head coach is there. What's going on in that locker room? How desperate? What are the guys talking about?
It's about your life, your livelihood, your career at this point. I mean, coaches are hoping to, keep their job, and the players are hoping to put some good tape on film so that, if Ottawa doesn't bring them back, then they have a chance to catch on with the team across the league. So pretty similar to Edmonton's situation as well. Like you want to do everything you can to show the organization, that they should believe in you, coaches and players. You have nothing to lose. Empty the playbook. They're going to you have to be ready for trick plays and all-out blitzes, and you name it. They're going to hold nothing back. They need this win desperately. And, like I said, whenever your livelihood is on the line, look, guys get paid well in the CFL to play a kid's game, and you want to keep that going as long as possible. And in order to do that, you have to have good film, and you have to win games, and they're going to do everything they can to put those two together.
Darian, as a Rider fan, probably the most concerning thing to me after the weekend was all done. The Riders lost. Okay. But, this is the big but. BC looks good. They can play a little defense. The offense is humming. All right, there was that. Yeah. The Montreal Alouettes look good in a win. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers got Zach Collaros back, and they eviscerated the first-place team in the East with precision. It was a beatdown. And I'm like, oh, everybody else is ramping up. Just like you and Luke have always talked about this last third of the season. Everybody's going to start playing good football. There's teams playing good football. That's what really worried me. Not so much about losing to the Elks.
Yeah, whenever you see a team with a potent offense have 3 turnovers from your quarterback and still can go out there and get a win, especially when your defense hasn't been known to play good football, but they're kind of picking it up at the perfect time. It's something you definitely, need to keep in the back of your mind, and it's kind of scary moving forward. And then for Winnipeg, they're always going to be a tough team to beat in that place. I wouldn't put too much emphasis on them beating Hamilton like that. Look, we all know that's a tough place to play, and they win a lot of home games in that building. If you're a betting man, you know that, and so I wouldn't put too much on Winnipeg's win. If you can probably get them away from that stadium, I don't think they're the same football team. But look, this is what the CFL is all about. It's all about coming down to the end of the season, having the schedule and the standings being tight, fighting for playoff pushes each and every week. This is what it's all about, and it's going to be exciting next few weeks of football.
Okay, Darian. If you if Bill the bookie there, your guy calls you and says, Darren, you got a credit here for a free sprinkle. You got to pick the 2 teams right now who you think are going to be in the Grey Cup. Who are the 2 teams that you're taking right now?
Today, with a healthy Davis Alexander out of the East, I'm going to take the Montreal Alouettes. And in the West, I'm going to take the Riders. I think once they clinch the West Final at home, I don't think there's a team that'll come into Mosaic Stadium and win that game. So I'll have the Montreal Alouettes and our good old Saskatchewan Roughriders in the Grey Cup.
I think Montreal ends up in first place. I think they're going to overtake Hamilton before the season's done if they keep trending in that direction, because they look with Davis Alexander.
You
they're
just
a complete
see how
football team.
Explosive. Yes, they're super explosive, complementary football. The defense just seems to know that when he's there, they have a chance. So just a totally different football team with him at quarterback.
All right, Darren. Jets, Miami, Cincy, Denver tonight. Do you even watch those games, or do you just go for a walk?
Oh, man, I don't know what to think about this Miami Dolphin team. I mean, they just seem to have all the talent in the world but can't put it together. So if I'm a betting man, I stay away from that game. I like Denver over Cincy. Cincy without Joe Burrow, especially on the road, Mile High Stadium, the altitude, I don't think they stand a chance.
All right. That's it. That's all for this week. Let's see what happens in Ottawa Friday, and we'll reconvene on Monday.
Sounds good.
Right
Thanks,
on.
guys.
Thank you, sir.
Double Talk with Darian Durant is brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. Does your workplace have the proper safety program? If not, you call Campbell Safety Consulting. They can also deal with harassment in the workplace, which is a big one these days. We're going to talk Pat Chat in a moment here. James Barker Band tickets in Moose Jaw. We're still giving those away for the next half hour. 2 tickets, 936-6262. Curtis says you got to let him know one of the songs from the James Barker Band. Your hint, my favorite one is Chills. There's your hint. Or Huey Lewis song. Favorite Huey Lewis song, even though he's not playing. People are texting in Huey Lewis songs. They love them. It's a Sports Cage. We are the home of Huey Lewis's trivia and so much more. Streaming at sportscage.com. Curtis left. And on 620 CKRM. Monday means the new Sports Cage Power Rankings, and the people that are involved have, if you're watching the stream, here it is. Surprise, surprise, BC Lions. Number 1 team, followed by the Montreal Alouettes and the Riders dropping down to 3rd. Bombers are in at 4th, and the Tiger Cats at 5. You can find that at sportscage.com. A couple games in the NFL tonight. Monday Night Football, Jets in Miami. Cincy is at Denver. No Major League Baseball. It fires up tomorrow. SJHL and Kindersley. Humboldt's in town for a Monday affair. Sportscage.com poll today. What concerns you most about the Riders' 25-27 loss in Edmonton Saturday? There's 4 options to vote at sportscage.com. The ticker is 4 Regina Steelcraft doors. You need a garage door. They're now into their new 40,000 square foot facility, and they're made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Regina Steelcraft doors. Let's talk some Regina Pats, and Pat Chat here for a few moments, joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline and through the stream if you're watching them. Ephram McNutt, we talked to him last year, captain of the Regina Pats. First off, flying on your own. I know you're doing your pilot's license. Where are we with that?
Yeah, very close. Unfortunately, had some hiccups through the summer with the school I was at. They had some planes go down. Unfortunately, no one hurt, but the planes were hurt more than the people. So, unfortunately, that was a bit of a delay. But all my solo hours are done. All my hours in total are done. Just got to go up for my in-night air test, and I'll be all done there. So
awesome.
Now, is this something that you work out with the boys to be like, well, you guys have fun on the bus. I'm gonna be flying in. I'll meet you there. I mean, it's all good. It's a little different. Hey, just teasing. Quick question: with Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh, we know that they're going to be playing X amount of games with the Regina Pats this year. You're the captain of this hockey club. Do you feel like you're kind of like the shepherd, the big brother, to be like, all right, we protect these guys at all costs. Not only me, but everybody else on this team. These guys are just learning about the league. Is that one of the most important aspects of your role as captain this year of the Pats?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I think so for sure. I think we're very fortunate those guys are already so mature at such a young age and carry themselves like more like an 18 or 19-year-old in the league. So they can definitely hold their own, but we're definitely there to back them up, whether it's on or off the ice, to show them the ways or protect them a little more and pick them up during a tough game or a better team. So yeah, I think I view that as one of my roles for sure, but nothing to take away from them. They're very mature kids.
How are they different, personality-wise?
Honestly, not much. Pretty similar, if I'm being honest. Maddox is well, actually, I don't know. I was going to say Maddox is a bit more of a jokester, but that's not even true. They're both kind of jokesters and real comfortable with the guys, so that's obviously great to see. But yeah, pretty similar in that regard.
You guys are 0-3 early in the season. PA home opener. What are you saying in the room? To the guys, let's keep it positive here. It's still early. Just to try and grind this out.
Yeah, I think it's so easy to just kind of look back at our last couple of years and kind of just say, here we go again, or it's fine. This is how it's been. But I think we have a bit of a chip on our shoulder this year and don't want to just settle for another losing season. So I think the guys are definitely taking it a bit more to heart this year, and obviously that's great to see. But yeah, really, there was a couple games that really could have went either way. We've actually played some pretty decent hockey to start the year, so I think it's easy to get down, but we just got to understand that we have been playing pretty well and take that as a positive when we can.
Winning is contagious, and you know this because you've been around a long time to get that message across. Like if we just get one, and then we get one more, and then it can roll and it could start to snowball. Because you look at some of the undefeated teams, would anybody have thought that Moose Jaw would be 3-0 to start the season? Like, can it be that easy just to once one, and then it starts?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think winning's ever easy, but yeah, we certainly have said it in the room. Hey guys, we understand that we're not an 0-3 team this year. We have some skill and we have some more chemistry this year. And yeah, looking at teams like Moose Jaw who are 3-0, and then looking at a team like Brandon who have made some pretty big trades and they're 0-3. So that's really just evident on how true that the games can go either way in the Western Hockey League. We are just so close. So yeah, that is a huge thing, and yeah, it is kind of crazy looking around the league, some of the records for sure.
Not to look too far ahead here, but what were your personal goals going into this season?
Well, I think honestly, becoming a leader and gaining a larger leadership role on the team is one thing. Just beyond my personal thing, just being able to help young guys out and really kind of try my best to do everything I can to kind of turn the team around. And also, I'll look at next year. I don't want to move too far ahead in the future, but looking at NCAA options and potentially some pro options are kind of my cards. So we'll see how that goes, but options are certainly good.
If you had the choice right now, play pro or somebody's coming with a ride, are you going NCAA or are you going pro?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I could always go pro after university, but it's not totally guaranteed that I can go to university after pro. So that's one of the real huge upsides with going to school. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at things. But as rules change, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to go to university after. But it's interesting.
And you can fly. You get down there and fly your buddies around.
You could flight simulator.
Yeah.
How hard is it? You'd mentioned you're the captain of the hockey team, and you basically got to put this on your shoulders. Is it you that has to tell yourself, or is it the coaching staff, maybe family, to be like, listen, you can't do it all yourself. You got to do your part, but you can't take on this whole responsibility. There's got to be others where, because that also is a lot of responsibility, Ephram, for a young guy to feel like, all right, I got to make this thing work, for this thing to work as a collective group.
Yeah, good question. I think there's an aspect of both. I think my coach can kind of let me know that, and my mom as well. She's in a pretty big leadership role herself in her job, so it's kind of nice that she can have experience and have some say and some suggestions. And I know as important it is for me to lead guys, it's also at times I have to be a little bit selfish and understand that it's for my own development as well. But I think in a role like this, I think the team certainly comes first, and it's only going to help me seeing a team strive and do well together. So.
Your mom's with the RCMP, right? If I remember correctly?
Yeah, you got her.
Where's she stationed? Or where's she at?
In Red Deer. She's the OIC, so she's the head of the detachment there. So it's kind of nice to have some real life experience from her to help me out in that.
Man, you had to keep your nose clean as a kid, eh? Oh,
yeah.
Well, and if you could get her to call down, there's some RCMP around Medicine Hat as you're cruising through on the Transcount. They love to set up that speed trap there. Maybe you've been caught in it as well. Can we email you after and get your mom to look after some stuff, maybe behind the scenes as a Pats supporter? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I play Pat. I know exactly where that's at, so I feel you.
Yeah. Sucks.
Okay. I want to end on this. We asked Maddox, maybe every time we talk to a Pats player, I'm going to ask this year. What are you listening to before the game to get pumped up? What kind of music? Who are you listening to?
Mostly rock. I'll go Zombie by the Cranberries, and then I'll go kind of one right before I go Everlong by the Foo Fighters. That's kind of my two that kind of pump me up, but yeah, those are the go-to.
We could hang out. I like that. Those are good. Do you know who Bad Bunny is? I just learned who he was today, or it.
Barely. Yeah, not much at all.
Do you know who Huey Lewis and the News is?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's way. But your mom would know. That's our.
They got arrested in Red Deer a couple of times. They got out. Judge got them out though on a technicality. It's fine. Everything was charges were dropped.
Yeah. All right, Captain. Well, long season here. Only 3 games in. Thanks for making some time today. Go do your thing. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks very much, guys. We'll see you again. Right
on. There he is, captain of the Regina Pats, Ephram McNutt, pilot. One day he'll be a captain, flying captain.
Captain. He's captain.
That's cool.
Barney, could you imagine? I know
Huey Lewis in the News.
I know. No, I know you, and I know me, and I know Curtis a little bit. Could you imagine having the responsibility of being the captain of the Regina Pats at his age? That's just a lot. It's a lot.
No. I look back when I was that age, and I'm like, well, how did I even have a license? Who trusted me behind a motor vehicle?
I know, and I was
living on my own too. I burned down a billet's house. There's a funny story. Some guys that I played with down south, they burnt down half of their billet's house. Yeah, old man Marley.
I'm glad you can laugh about it now. I'm sure they weren't laughing at the time.
Worst thing that ever happened was a party, and the party got out of control, and the cops came, everyone ran, and they blew the deck railing off. And then we the next morning, tried to screw it all back together, and then my billet got home, and he was like, hey, come here. He's like, don't do this stuff. If something happens, tell me. Don't try and fix it. Because then I looked, and I'm not mechanically inclined. I don't know. It was all crooked and everything. I'm a heat bag. That's what I am.
Guilty as charged.
Bad Bunny. That's a whole other story at another time. Okay, we got to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to hear from AJ Ouellette after that game on Saturday, and we'll break that down. We'll get some of the text messages on the Prairieland Rentals text line. It's Sports Cage. We are streaming at sportscage.com. Mark gets it on the text line. He's like, I am from the 80s music genre. But when we throw out how great Power of Love is, in brackets, which it is like our parents talking about that 45 banger Stardust from the Artie Shaw Orchestra.
It
is, though.
Yeah.
It is. We're old. Music's good. 80s and 90s music. There was some cheese there, but it was good.
The 80s I loved. I came to appreciate the 70s. The 90s doesn't play well to me. Like, a lot of it is so stylized and garbagey. Like, I can't listen to a ton of it.
I was never a
country
grunge
music.
guy. Were you a grunge guy?
See,
I was never a grunge guy.
A little bit. I couldn't get over the fact that hair metal died because of grunge. Like, it hit a brick wall. Nirvana came along and hair metal, Poison, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, all of them. It hit a brick wall, and that's what did in. Def Leppard's one of those crazy bands that was one of the few that to survive through the eras of music like grunge, where most bands just fell apart. And I saw them. They booked dates. They're playing Europe next year with Extreme. I mean, they were great at Craven. But I told you, I didn't like the playlist. Too many new songs. It's not, guys, it's not what we came to see. In a 15-song set that's 90 minutes, nobody wants 5 songs that are new that no one's heard before.
I'm a firm believer that the 80s is the greatest era of music, to be honest. You know?
Yeah,
some good
I'd
stuff.
agree.
Like Michael Jackson, Toto. I love Africa. You know?
You're going from Michael Jackson. You go to Toto.
Yeah, don't you love Toto?
Yeah, but they're not even in the same league, man.
They're kind of one-hit wonderish. And to me, country music from any decade, from like the 70s on, I can listen all the way through. 90s
Collins?
country, I'm a little tired of.
Well, Phil Collins had more. You should go to the Phil Collins library.
Van Halen?
Yeah.
A little hot for
but
teacher?
Van Halen, you could never figure out who the lead singer was. That's what pissed me off about Van Halen. And I was a Sammy Hagar Van Halen guy.
Me too. I think Sammy Hagar, this will get the text line going. This is really going to offend people. Hey, hot take, Sammy Hagar was better in Van Halen than David Lee Roth. The songs were better, musically they were better. I'm sure they sold more albums.
Yeah.
Sorry, David Lee Roth fans, but Sammy is Van Halen.
David Lee Roth.
And here it comes.
Like
and I'm
weirdo.
I'm a Bomber apologist and a Sammy Hagar Van Halen guy. I need a third strike against me.
We're kind of going off on a music thing here, and we're going to continue it for the rest of the show because we're giving away 2 tickets to the James Barker Band, Great Canadian Country Act in Moose Jaw, November 20th. 2 tickets right now, Temple Gardens Center. Text in 936-6262. Let us know your James Barker song and then anything else musical genre. You know, here's a band from the 90s that, because I was country music guy, like Tim McGraw with his mullet mustache, like that album, Don't Take the Girl, Indian Outlaw, all that was so good. See, Jeff says the 90s gave us the Tragically Hip, and I get the egg on my face thing. I wasn't a hip fan until I was a little bit older and I moved to the States. And then I waved the flag, and I really liked it. But you know, Maz, what band in the 90s? We talked about Live. They're coming. So good. And I can listen to The Offspring, any album, any song. It was a little while ago that I realized how much I really, really like The Offspring.
I like The Offspring, but over the past couple of years, I've learned about their politics and behind the scenes and how they treat their other guys in their band, because they're not band members. It's just the 2 of them, and then they hire everybody else. There's a guy named Pete Parada who was their drummer for 13 years, and then COVID happened. They fired him. There's a whole story. So I'm like, you guys are supposed to be alternative, but you're not. So there's that, but I do like them. And I tell you, and you're like, I've come to appreciate the band Oasis more in the past year than I ever did in the 90s when they were popular, just because you know a little more.
I love Wonderwall. Good tune.
Yes,
you know
that's a good song, but there's more to the Oasis than Wonderwall.
Oasis is as overrated to me as the Big Mac. I've never got into the Big Mac. I'm like, what is the Big Mac? Nah, give me a Whopper any day of the week. Big Mac, what? Oasis, same thing. Nope.
You know what, boys? I actually kind of want to backpedal a little bit because I forgot during Clutch Performer for my Unclutch Performer of the Day. My Unclutch Performer of the Day was whoever that camera guy that was on the sidelines for the Vavel return in the Winnipeg game that just like absolutely like tripped up that ref real bad. Just whabam.
Oh.
I'm not. That was the one thing I noticed when I was watching, and I laughed a little bit. I feel kind of bad, but
no, you gotta laugh at that. That's funny. But why would you kill the music talk?
I'm sorry. We could keep talking about music if you want. You want to keep talking 90s or 80s? You a big Spice Girls fan, Barney? A little wannabe?
No, hated the Spice. Do you know who my favorite band is of all time, Curtis, since we've been working together for like a year and a half now?
Sir Mix-a-Lot?
No.
The Rankin family?
No. Justin and his sisters and brothers.
Justin Timberlake?
No, I'm not going to tell you then if you don't know. I've said it numerous times on here. Okay, Offspring, Maz, you're on the fence. Where were you with Pearl Jam? Because I was never, like, I love Even Flow. Jeremy?
I bought in right away. I remember I bought the album. I bought in right away. But I said I was having a tough time because hair metal died and everything was grunge. And we're like, well, okay, you got to get into it. I appreciate them more now. So over the weekend, Eddie Vedder created a music festival. I think it's in Huntington Beach, California. It's called Ohana Fest. It's like a 3-day outdoor thing. And
doesn't sound cheap.
He played... No, Pearl Jam played last year along with the Killers and stuff. So this year he played, but I think as an individual. I appreciate him because he's super weird. Mm-hmm. And I kind of appreciate Pearl Jam more now, but I was never a huge fan back then. Same thing with Nirvana. It was okay, but I was never a huge fan. I like them more now.
I would honestly listen to that the Susan Aglukark front to back before Nirvana any day of the week. Colson texted in the YouTube chat, Roxette. That's my favorite band, and I am proud to say that. I have no shame. Roxette is my favorite band of all time.
You know what? Now that Colson says it, I do remember you always wearing that Roxette shirt. You're like, come on, love Roxette.
Yeah, and when I went to Sweden a couple years ago, I was disappointed with the lack of respect for Roxette. Big ABBA. They love their ABBA there. Are you looking up albums?
I'm looking up songs.
No, I'm just looking.
I'm trying to see if I recognize anything.
Hey, give me some trivia. Try and stump me. Something 90s.
Okay. But I'm just saying.
90s from Roxette or just in general?
Like Bryan Adams was in town last night. Bryan Adams has always been solid. No matter what decade Bryan Adams, even in the 90s, Bryan Adams was good.
Good. And I'm just looking. Third line guy up and down his wing.
So this, what is it? Friday, the story of the Eagles and the legendary life of Tom Petty at the Connexus Arts Center.
That'd be good.
That'd be good.
I don't even like those guys that much, but that would be good.
And last Friday at Casino Regina, they were called Ultimate Escape, a Journey tribute band. You're just going to go, you're just going to hammer rum cokes and then just scream along.
What's your favorite Journey song?
Don't Stop Believing.
I'll go separate ways any day of the week.
Let's see, Journey songs. I do like Don't Stop. Okay, what's the one where, why can't I remember the name of it?
Should have been gone. Well, that's Steve Perry on his own.
Yeah. Oh, Sherry. No, that was good too. That one's a banger. It's my favorite Journey song.
Eli, he says you're nuts.
I know.
David Lee Roth was a showman. Hager couldn't wipe his shorts. I don't know why he'd wipe his shorts. Never heard of Barker, Eli. It's a band, Dave Barker. Yeah, but I know Eli. A lot of guys are David Lee Roth. I would say the majority would be pro David Lee Roth. You know who the best show I ever saw at Casino Regina was? Actually, I shouldn't say. The Scotty McCreery a few months ago was unbelievable. And I still don't know why he played the small venue. There was nowhere else. Actually, I saw Randy Travis at Casino Regina with my mom, my wife's mom. It was just an unbelievable night when Randy was still belting out tunes. That was amazing. But if you ever get a chance to see Richard Marx, do it.
Great musician.
Oh. And it was just him and his piano.
Speaking of this, we focus so much on the football. Has there been any announcement on the Grey Cup halftime show in Winnipeg? Like, who's playing that? Has that been announced?
That's a whole other show. We can drum up support and we'll send it to Stuart.
But I'm just saying, like, has it been announced and have I missed it? Because that's the next kind of thing. I'll be like, who's playing halftime in
Who's
Winnipeg?
a big Winnipeg band besides the Watchmen that I would know? Is Burton coming?
Guess Who?
The Guess Who.
Yes, he's from Winnipeg. The Guess Who, yeah. I don't think they're playing it.
No.
It says
I like Faithfully
Crash
from Journey.
Test Dummies, unless it's baiting me here.
That'd be awful.
Origin, Winnipeg,
awful.
Manitoba.
I heard Harry, who co-hosts once in a while on the show, he went to Crash Test Dummies last year, 2 years ago, at the Broadway Theater in Saskatoon. Unbelievable. Remember Peter Pumpkinhead? They sang that one too. Hey, don't forget the Rider Foundation 50/50 coming up. This week's early bird prize until Thursday at 5 o'clock. A Banff ski getaway package for 4 includes 2 nights at the Banff Caribou Lodge and Spa, full day at Lake Louise and the ice fields, and lift tickets, or you can take $2,700 cash. So that's coming up. Okay, we got to go. No show tomorrow. We are recognizing Truth and Reconciliation Day here at Harvard Media. I'll be back on Wednesday, possibly with Maz. He says he's got nothing going on Wednesday, so he might be rolling through. Curtis, good job today. Maz, good job today. Listen to some Crash Test Dummies on your way home or Rock Set. Sports Cage, we'll talk to you on Wednesday.